Hello and welcome to my channel. Today and for the next few episodes, we are going to focus on some workout routines. I just did a 5K yesterday for the first time in a very long time, and let me tell you, my body is sore. So I was thinking to focus this session primarily on doing some core work, a little bit of glutes, and some stretches. So stick around, grab a mat, a resistance band, and I have here a kettlebell if you want to get fit today with me. I'm organic, and this is how we are going to get fit today. I have this workout here on my iPad that I'm really looking forward to getting through. Main tips for you, you want to keep your breath steady, keep your knees soft, and just ease into this. Think of activation over intensity. We will be doing a sequence of 7 exercises, and we will repeat each exercise for approximately 45 seconds per round. We do like to have a warm-up to get started, so grab a water. And we're going to start with a simple warm-up, reaching your hands all the way up. And we're going to get 10 squats. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Next, you're going to get your hands out horizontally in line with your shoulders and just going over to your insteps one side at a time for 10 movements. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then kicking your heels back to your glutes. Great stuff. Okay, our first exercise is going to be some core crunches. And we're going to keep this super simple with this resistance band. Laying down. And timer goes on for 45 seconds. In some of my previous videos, my mic started giving me trouble. It's really frustrating when that happens, but I still posted the content anyway because in this time it was relevant. But I'll probably have to film those videos over again because who knows what happens with these microphones. You buy the right technology and you hope it works, and then next thing you know, you film 4 videos. And then you have to keep your cool when the whole audio gets completely flawed. All right, so next we're going to get some seated Russian twists. So I have here a kettlebell. I love Russian twists because it really does snatch the waist and tone up the side body as well as the core. So this, I have a 15-pound weight here. You can use a weight of your choice. If you want to go lighter, that's totally fine. With these, it's really about focusing on your breath and really sucking in your core from behind your belly button, breathing through and just lightly leaning back with a tilt. Excellent. Okay, I always feel like when my body cracks, you know, when you go to a chiropractor and they literally have to like crack your whole spine back into realignment. So interesting, the human body, isn't it? Okay, so next we're going to do something very simple, which is working with these bands. You're going to bend one knee under. One leg will be completely straight. And you can come down to your side. We're going to get some leg lifts. So you can put on some music if you like background noise. Soon I will have music to go along with my workouts, but for now, we're listening to the sound of the wind blowing the leaves of the trees. The birds are chirping this afternoon, and really enjoying some nature for a nice outdoor reset. Alrighty, and then we will switch sides. Show them here. Okay, and we go next side. So I like this exercise because when we are focused on the upper body, it's interesting to see how also, who is calling me at this hour? Well, if we lose the audio, we will just have to go with it. Okay. Awesome. So that will be our first set of these exercises. And we will continue with that going forward. So we're going to repeat now that sequence another time. So from the top, everything we just did, we're going to do it again. And this style of workouts I really like because it keeps everything simple. And you get to do 3 exercises 3 times on the 45-second timer. And then we'll get 2 really good stretches in towards the end. When I chat about fitness and workouts, it's not always about lifting heavy, but it's about using the right resistance, breath work, and a mix of strength, cardio, and flexibility. That is what I believe is the right formula to sustain a lean body and even bounce back if you have been struggling with weight loss or excess body fat. So these are reverse crunches. And you can do these without a band, but I prefer with the band on. Just fix my hair, because when you lie down with a ponytail, it's like you have to really do your hair so strategically as a woman when you work out. And it's always the paradox we face with hair washing. You know, when do you wash the hair because you're going to sweat? And when do you work out? It's always like the decisions of balancing these concepts. Russian twists. Amazing. And then we go back to the band. And this some might consider these lazy girl workouts, but you know what? It's better than nothing. So if you want to call it lazy girl workouts, that's totally fine with me as well. I'm just hoping that the audio comes through this time. Like feeling my ball and socket joints moving around from that 5K. It makes you wonder, like, if you jog a 5K on your own versus if you do it in a group for like a 5K event, why does it hurt so much more at those events? Is it because we push ourselves harder to run faster? These are all thoughts I think about, but I will do a really good stretch to put the spine back into realignment, because that's always a priority for me. As an athlete, it's very important to have these considerations taken into account. Some people think you should train core like once in a while, or dedicate just a few minutes to core during workouts when you're working your full body. But I believe that training core like 3 days a week is so important if you want a flat stomach with core muscles. Okay, so we have one more set of these to go. From the top, you're doing great, so keep it up. You can ask your friends to join in with you on these workouts. The great news is you can literally do this anywhere, anytime. And you can also get my book, Tropical Wellness Secrets, on Amazon, since it's available there if you want extra recipes that I recommend for keeping fit and healthy and lean. Excellent. These workouts are meant to be about half an hour, which I like because sometimes we need to work with a schedule, whether you have demands as a parent or you're working long shifts and you still need to do toning. When you schedule in a time, it makes things a lot, in my perspective anyway, a lot more visually appealing or motivating to get it done versus thinking, oh, I have to go to the gym or I have to go to a class or I have to put in a booking for something, whether you do it at home or at a physical location. And I feel that scheduling time to move every day is an important, healthy part of a daily schedule. And what you do in that time can be personalized once you set aside that time. Awesome. Well, this 15-pound is a bit heavy. The thing is it will tone your arms as well, which is great. But if you're a beginner, you might want to start with something smaller like 5 to 8. And then you make your way up to the heavier weights. Okay, one more set of these. You can also book one-to-one coaching with me online if you would like a more personalized approach. I do meal plans, workouts online, and yeah, it's great, especially if you have a packed schedule, you want to make use of your home gym that's sitting there collecting dust, or whether your home gym is there used as, if your home gym is used as a drying rack for your clothes when you do laundry, for example, then it would be a good time to book in a trainer. If you have goals and you prefer to work with a human more so than an app, at least to get started, I feel like beginner-friendly ways to go about in fitness and diet are definitely to have a human instructor, even if it's online, and eventually making your way through to the apps, because working with a coach helps you integrate these habits faster and you get live feedback on your form. You can check out my website, www.mygreenbalance.com. We have got lots of merch there. We've got mats, we've got t-shirts, sweaters that we're designing, and overall fun stuff. So definitely check that out. Check out the shop. You'll have fun browsing or catching up on shopping for the fam. Oh, we've got swimsuits. Really good range of swimsuits there that we enjoy. All right, so you can definitely feel the muscles fatigue by the end of the third round on these. So we do like to do exercises to feel that the muscles are being maxed out in terms of their strength. Cool, so that's the first set of 3. And now we basically take a little breather and we go for another set of 3. Again, this is supposed to be a pretty light workout, just some toning today. So we're gonna keep it pretty core focused. And we do a little bit of glutes because it's all pretty connected to the center body. So we will put these bands back on. Really nice bird activity going on around here today, so that's lovely. And we're gonna keep it super simple with just some bicycle abs because those are usually just the easiest ones to do. Again, if you don't want a band, you can do these without the band, but I prefer to have that resistance. And you really want to cross over to make sure your opposite elbow is going over to the opposite knee while keeping your breath steady, focused, and your form as a priority. You want to imagine a big beach ball in between your neck and your chest so that you're not tugging at the neck. It's that you want your neck leaning back, but it's your chest that's bringing your body up to get these movements in. Excellent. You can bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug here. You want to imagine like pulling the top of your shoulders and the base of your spine down at the same time so that you're straightening out your spine while bringing your hips in so you get a nice hip opener. It's my favorite position to hold between sets for that purpose. Get a little stretch out here. All right, rock it up. And because we're looking at flexibility, you might know this is one of my favorite sequences to get in. And I call it knee to nose. So you really want to push back into a downward dog. We're going to do alternative legs here. So you're going to start you start in your plank for alignment, and you want to make sure that your shoulders are directly on top of your wrists. Then you push the hips all the way back. You want to feel a pelvic floor tilt. So sometimes you might think that your pelvic floor is tilting towards the earth, but what you really want is to pull it over your head while pulling your heels down to the ground at the same time to max out the space that our body has that we need to just tap into. So without further ado, once you've gotten your form, you then raise one leg up and you bring it forward. Switching sides, you raise the other leg up and you bring it forward. And we're going to move like that for the 45-second time. See, this is a good addition to any routine, this movement, because most humans are really inflexible in their hamstrings and require core strength. Excellent. And then we hold here for a few breaths. If you need to breathe at any time, you could also come down to child's pose, which you get into by keeping your knees as wide as the mat. You bring your forehead to the earth, and you just sit here for a bit. All right, so our final set is hip bridges, and these are really good for pelvic floor. Like if you've had a baby or if you're a mom and there's always pelvic floor strengthening priorities to do. You can even have your feet up on a ledge like this high if you want to get more leverage in that. I think I might actually bring that chair to demonstrate for you because I do like the ability to go a little higher with these. So let's try it out with this chair. We'll see how that goes. But you can use any surface, wall, anything like that to keep it simple. You want to get as close to the surface as possible. And you just get your weight. I'm gonna go here. Get grounded, and then you go. And that's a wrap. So we go from the top with those. Very well done. Now we know that's what we're doing for our second rounds. Then we start again from the top. Super simple. Bicycle abs. So just 2 more sets of these to go. And then that's it. Okay. Next was our knee to nose. Great stuff. Okay, you're doing great. We're almost there. And let's go for some bridges. It's a serious art getting into these positions. Yes. All right. You can do these on the ground, like you don't have to have the chair. So you can take these down to a beginner friendly level, or you can keep it at this level depending on where you're at. I'm using a 15-pound kettlebell for these. Again, if you're a beginner, I'd recommend starting at 8 to 10. This is really to make sure your muscles do fatigue and you get that burn. So if you do feel maxed out before the final, that's totally fine. Okay. I'm going to wrap that up with these amount of sets to focus on some stretches because that's a really good amount of workout for today. You've done very well. Thanks for joining me. And for our stretch, we're going to do a few figure 4 stretches, which open up the hip flexors. And I want to really prioritize our time together on these. So you're going to keep both feet on the mat. Raise your right leg over. You want to make sure this toe is pulling to your knee, so this ankle's locked to support your knee. You're going to grab the hamstring of the left side, and you're bringing that as close to your chest as possible while you're pushing the right knee out. And then you're breathing here into this figure 4. Excellent. And then you can bring it over for a little twist, spinal twist. Excellent. Back to center. Crossing over the left foot. Grabbing the right hamstring. Oh my God, I'm just giggling from something I saw earlier with penguins being fed fish. I think it's so funny. These stretches are amazing, oh my gosh. All right, that's one of my faves, and we'll just do one more before my phone dies and I don't have time to capture this video. So we'll keep it super simple, just a low lunge here. You want to be off of the back kneecap. This is breathing all into these hip flexors, into the front body here. You can get a twist. Focusing on breathing as much as possible in the IT bands. And then you want to pull back some more hamstring. Keeping your chest up. You can keep your back straight with these, or you can round the spine. Both give a really good hamstring opening effect. To switch sides, you raise your back knee. You get that front foot into the back position. And you come up on your low lunge. Breathing. I'm just gonna add some shoulder opening to mine while I'm here, but you can keep your hand on your knees and coming forward into the hamstring. Our body has its own way of having intelligence, and listening to our body is a really good idea to learn. Okay. Wow, excellent job. You made it. So, to close off this session, which we will have more, we're going to take a deep breath in, reach your hands all the way up. Find a moment of gratitude for this moment. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your stomach. Thank yourself for showing up to take care of your body today. Thank you for sharing your time, space, and energy with me. And I really hope you have a healthy day and that you'll be back soon again to work out with me and learn more on my channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I can't wait to see you again. Oh my gosh, I'm wearing my Barbie shades from my friend's event that she had when she was getting married. And they say la vie en rose is when you see things through rose-colored glasses. But I just think that, you know, Barbies need a moment sometimes to just be Barbie. And yeah.